What's up, guys? We are back with Week 18 NFL Sunday action. Let's dive in and break down these games and find the value out there in an action-packed Sunday. Unfortunately, guys, we had to take a 1 week break. Not really up to us. It was kind of forced on us, but we are back in action now. So we're going to be good to go out there. Hopefully no issues with this video. So let's dive in. If you want to win all of your bets this weekend, hit that like button. It's good luck and shows support for the channel and all the hard work we're putting in every single day. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on our daily content. You can now also head over to our secondary channel. There will be a link down in the description, but it's more Stump the Spread. It is just a channel where we'll be uploading primarily NBA, college basketball, whatever we're not covering on this channel, we'll be uploading over there. So check out that secondary channel just in case we end up having any sort of problems over here once again. You can also sign up for a channel membership over here by clicking the little join button right below the video. Members get exclusive early access to all of our videos and get their names up on screen just like right now. I really appreciate the support from all of you guys. Seeing that badge next to your comments keeps me fired up and motivated to make this channel even bigger and better. Our videos are brought to you by Stump the Spread. We have a team of experienced cappers over there for every major sport, currently covering NFL, college football, NBA, NCAA basketball, NHL, and the UFC. This is one of the best times of the year to sign up for a premium membership. We've got a lot of sports going on right now. NFL playoff actions right around the corner, so definitely want to head over there and check that out as soon as you get a chance. Comment below, guys, with any bets you're looking at today, and we will give you our best advice on all of them. We're committed to responding to every single comment every day, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day here in this very, very crazy Week 18. We've got the Carolina Panthers going on the road to take on the Atlanta Falcons. The Panthers come into this game 4-12 on the season, so straight up not having a good time overall, but lately things have looked a bit better. Obviously a pretty big bump in the road there last week, getting destroyed at Tampa Bay. Not a great day there. Obviously, Bryce Young not having the best time, but he's definitely shown promise here down the stretch this season. In that game, we definitely saw the Panthers not at full strength there, but Adam Thielen had a huge game, 2 touchdown passes, 110 yards. That's a guy that is certainly not done putting up good numbers this season, so I think we'll see a good last game from him. Obviously, Bryce Young getting sacked 5 times last week is not great, so maybe they'll be able to protect him a little bit better out there this week. The defense obviously got shredded, but they can only get better in this one. In terms of their injury report, Bryce Young healthy, Adam Thielen healthy. We do see, at least one wide receiver banged up, but there's a chance that he will play, and a couple guys questionable there on the offensive line, but it looks pretty likely that at least one of them, maybe both of them, will be playing, so we could see a full strength offensive line here. Obviously, we're going to see Raheem Blackshear there as the featured running back, so that's not ideal, but I do think they're going to be okay running the ball in this matchup. On defense, they're banged up once again, guys. We see, at least one linebacker out, at least one guy, 2 guys actually in the secondary going to be out, so they're going to have some second stringers in there, but that's going to be the case for a lot of teams here, down the stretch. So we'll see what happens with the Panthers in this game as they go on the road to take on the Falcons, who are now 8-8 on the season. The Falcons have to win and the Bucs have to lose for them to get into the playoffs, so they do not control their own destiny. They're going to be, doing some scoreboard watching, absolutely for sure. Last week, guys, a pretty tough 30-24 loss there at Washington. They couldn't get the job done there. Penix Jr., 1 touchdown, 1 interception, sacked a couple times. Didn't do anything meaningful with his legs, so not a great running game. And yeah, we saw Robinson and Algier look okay in the rushing attack. I mean, Robinson had a big day, so don't get me wrong there. Drake London also had over 100 receiving yards, but just not enough to get them over the top there in an overtime game against the Washington Commanders. So yeah, problematic stuff there from their defense, which has been pretty bad this season. They gave up 3 passing touchdowns. They gave up a ton of running yards, which is a big concern here, going up against a team like against the Panthers. And Jaden Daniels ran for 127 yards against them. I do think we could see Bryce Young doing some of the same in this game, or at least attempting to, but we'll see what happens, guys. I'm not going to be counting my chickens before they're hatched on this game. In terms of the defense there for Atlanta, though, we are just not very impressed. In terms of their injury report, guys, it has not been all roses and, unicorns. It's been a little bit tough. Mooney's questionable for this game. They're, relatively healthy there on defense, given, who they're, listed as starters for this week, but they're missing a ton of guys that they've lost over the course of the season, just littered with dudes on the IR. So definitely far from a full-strength Atlanta Falcons defense for this game. So looking at the numbers and looking at the trends here, I mean, Carolina 7-9 against the spread. They are 12-4 to the over this year. Atlanta 6-9-1 against the spread. They're 10-6 to the under. I think this is a spot we want to be shading just a little bit here towards the over. I mean, Carolina's been a massive over team. I think we'll see a good amount of offense there from Atlanta. Neither defense is in good shape at all. That's why I'm definitely leaning towards that over 48 in this spot. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Washington Commanders going on the road to take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Commanders come into this game, guys. There's playoff seeding incentive here for them. If they win, they lock the 6th seed and get to play the Bucs or Rams in the opening round. If they lose, they get the 7th seed and they have to play the Philadelphia Eagles. So clearly not what you would be wanting to do here if you're the Commanders. This is a pretty big game for them, wanting to finish the season 12-5, not 11-6. That's going to be making a big difference for this team that's been playing great down the stretch. They've won 4 in a row, including a win there over the Eagles, although that was by no means an easy win. Last week, they got the 30-24 win, like we were just talking about there, against the Falcons behind a massive day over the Falcons in overtime. Massive day from Jaden Daniels, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He was sacked 5 times, though. That's concerning. He led the team in rushing with 127 yards on the ground. We didn't see anybody go particularly nuts there in the receiving game. I mean, Zach Ertz did have a big game, 2 touchdowns there, caught 6 of 7 targets for 72 yards. So not worried about this Commanders offense at all. They are very good. They are chilling, but the defense did struggle a lot against the run last week, so that's a concern here against the this pretty decent running team in the Dallas Cowboys. And yeah, even Penix Jr. didn't have a terrible time against them. So yeah, a little bit concerned here about the Washington defense. On offense, they're pretty healthy, except for it looks like they're going to be missing their starting center for this game. But other than that, they're healthy and ready to go. And on defense, they're at close to full strength, except for Marshawn Lattimore, looking like one of the lamest trade pickups ever. The dude is never available to play. But other than that, they're healthy on defense. So we'll see what they can do here, heading to Jerry World to take on the Cowboys, who are 7-9 on the season. Obviously, nothing big going on here. The season is over for Dallas. They don't have anything really to go on. They're fresh off of that 41-7 just obliteration at the hands of the Eagles. Nothing good happening there. Obviously, they have to be a little bit encouraged with what they've seen from Cooper Rush. Not like that's going to be their quarterback of the future. And he had a terrible game last week, but generally speaking, he's been decent out there, filling in. Rico Dowdle has been an aberration, guys. 104 yards on 23 carries last week, especially against the Eagles team, is very nice. But this team clearly misses CeeDee Lamb being out there. Like, they shut him down for the season, which totally makes sense. And yeah, that's just not going to be something that, it makes sense. That is a huge blow to this wide receiver group. So we'll see what they can do here going on the, to take on this Washington team. Obviously a big divisional game. Dallas comes into this one relatively healthy. Probably going to be missing 1 offensive lineman, though, and they have 3 guys questionable there on defense. So probably not going to be the full-strength Dallas Cowboys in this spot. Although, I'm not going to say the defense has been terrible by any stretch. I mean, we're going to see guys like Micah Parsons play in this game and stuff like that. So definitely a concern here for Dallas, but I am a little bit worried. It feels like this team is kind of ready to hang it up for the season. And looking at the numbers here, they're getting 6.5 points, which is a lot. We've got a total of 44 out there. Washington, though, they haven't had too much trouble with those big spreads. They're 10-5-1 against the spread this season. They're also 11-5 to the over. Dallas 6-10 against the spread. They're 11-5 to the over themselves. Guys, I like Washington here -6.5. Sure, I think that's fine. No big deal. If that's the play you want to go with, you have my blessing. Go with God. But guys, I love over 44 in this one. It seems like a very good spot to me. I think we're going to see plenty of offense in this game. Neither team really plays the best defense. Washington's going to score for sure. Dallas is going to score also. And getting over 44 points in this game seems extremely easy. So lock that one up. That's definitely going in the pinned comment. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Chicago Bears. They're going on the road to take on the Green Bay Packers. The Bears have had a very disappointing season, guys. They are only 4-12 on the year. Things did not work out like they had imagined, guys. Caleb Williams, not the immediate savior, at least. We'll see what goes on, though. A coaching change, all kinds of stuff happening during the season probably didn't help things. They're fresh off a 6-3 loss in probably the worst football game to watch of the NFL season to the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, they didn't get anything going there offensively. Williams had an interception, no touchdowns, obviously, when sacked 7 times. Swift couldn't get things going there in the running game. Like, it was just a terrible... there's not too much to recap from this one, guys. It was quite the snooze fest. Obviously, a good day there defensively, but it's not like the Seahawks are amazing on offense. They generated a turnover, had 3 sacks, they slowed down the run, yada, yada. I'm not freaking out. This is a bad Chicago Bears team. There's no doubt about that. They come into this one relatively healthy there on offense. We do see Jenkins is out there on the offensive line, so going to be missing 1 offensive lineman on a offensive line that's already pretty freaking bad. But it's the last game of the season. We'll see if they can hold things together. On defense, they're also relatively healthy, so got to give them credit for being healthy at this point in the season. But it has not been an easy year there for Chicago, so they'll be searching for any sort of positive here. They don't want to end the season on this insanely long losing streak. They've lost every game since losing that disaster Hail Mary game to the Washington Commanders. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Packers, who are 11-5 this season. They're fresh off of a tough 27-25 loss there at the Minnesota Vikings. that was a tough game. The Packers played relatively well, guys, to keep things that close. They needed a huge comeback late in that game to make it look that close, so maybe I'm giving them too much credit here. I mean, Jordan Love wasn't amazing. Under 200 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 3 sacks. Didn't do anything big with his legs. Josh Jacobs, 17 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. Not his best work either. Obviously, they're going against a tough defense, so maybe I should cut him some slack. And they played a close game there at the end, so we got to give him some credit. Obviously, Josh Jacobs had that costly fumble, so that's not great. And on defense, guys, they really could not stop Sam Darnold. They did have 1 interception. Give him some credit there. They slowed down the run. Aaron Jones not having a good time against his former team, but they, I guess they didn't let Justin Jefferson go completely nuts, so not a terrible game out there, holding the Vikings to 27 points, not the end of the world. The Packers' defense over the course of the season has been very solid, guys. 6th in the NFL, giving up 19.6 points per game, so we'll see what they do here, guys. Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson, both questionable for this game, so Green Bay could be without their number 2 and number 3 wide receivers for this one. On their defense, guys, they're going to be missing at least 2 starters, guys. Walker going to be out. Williams out as well. So missing a linebacker and a safety, probably not ideal. But if you're going to be missing guys, missing guys here against a team like the Bears, probably not the end of the world. The Packers can only move up from the 7th seed to avoid facing the Eagles if the Commanders lose to Dallas and both teams play at noon here. So they're going to be, scoreboard watching. Guys, I think this is maybe a weird spot, but I really like the Chicago Bears here getting 10 points. It's a great spot to fade the public here. The Bears actually should have won earlier in the season in this matchup. They should have won this game. I think there's a good shot they play this one very, very close. They're going to be a desperate team. They're going to be fine to play spoiler here. The Bears are 7-2 against the spread this season. The Packers 9-7 against the spread. Also, both teams showing trends here towards the under, but there's no chance you're getting me involved in an under 41 on this game. So definitely give me the Bears here getting double-digit points. I think they find a way to make their last game of the season at least respectable. Moving right along, guys, we're looking at the Houston Texans going on the road to take on the Tennessee Titans. The Texans come into this game 9-7 on the season, but they are locked into the 4 seed. The Titans own their number 2 spot in the draft, so there's really not a ton of stuff at stake in this game. Like, Houston's going to be resting everybody coming off back-to-back losses. They got absolutely obliterated last week by the Ravens. That was a tough one to watch. They lost 31-2. Couldn't get anything going. It's going to be awfully nice, and I think very beneficial for CJ Stroud to have a week off to get back, get focused, and try and figure out what the hell went wrong in that one because he was terrible. Also, he got sacked 5 times. Nico Collins, they're going to protect him from injury by sitting him out. So, yeah, just no important players for the Houston Texans going to be playing in this game. They're also going to be resting guys on defense, which they could probably use a week off after getting absolutely destroyed there by Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, just going to be basically a week off here for the Houston Texans. There's no reason to expect them to play all of these guys. There's every reason to expect them to be sitting everyone. So, we'll see what happens here. Not going to be a Houston Texans team that's playing their starters. So, we'll see what they do here going up against the Tennessee Titans, who are only 3-13 on the season. They're fresh off a 20-13 loss there at the Jaguars. They've now lost 5 in a row, and they've been having a rough time. Their last win, funnily enough, was against the Texans. They won that game 32-27. That was, a tough game for the Texans to lose, but now at the end of the season, it doesn't even matter. They're locked into their seeding, and, the Titans, they own the number 2 spot in the draft, but I don't know if these guys care about that too much. In that loss last week against the Jaguars, guys, we saw Mason Rudolph, and reportedly we're going to see Will Levis and Mason Rudolph in this game. We were very happy with what we saw from Tyjae Spears, guys. He had a massive day, 20 carries, 95 yards, so hoping for another big day from him. Calvin Ridley had a nice day as well, so this team has some pieces. They just got to figure out how to put them together. The offense hasn't been great, but the defense looked good at different points of the season. They didn't look great last week, but they did stop the run at least, so got to give them some credit. And they're going to be playing second stringers here, so definitely something to take into consideration here. We're looking at the over-under on this game, and guys, Houston, they are 11-5 to the under this year. They're an NFL best to the under. The Titans are 9-6-1 to the over, though, and we've got a very small number with, second stringers in there, guys. The total is only 36.5. The Titans are 1.5 point favorites at home. Guys, go ahead and give me the over in this game. It doesn't feel amazing. It's not going in the pinned comment, but I do think this is a good spot to be on the over here as, both teams going to be trying to put up points. Neither team plays defense. Give me a little lean towards the over, but definitely a game I'm more than happy to just avoid. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars going on the road to take on the Indianapolis Colts. The Jaguars are 4-12 on the season, fresh off a 20-13 win there over the Titans. So they're trying to finish the season off on a positive note. We actually really liked what we saw from Mac Jones last week. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, only sacked twice. Did some good things with his legs too, running for 22 yards. Etienne Jr., not a bad day running the ball. Not great, but not terrible. Brian Thomas Jr., he's a monster wide receiver, guys. He's being kind of wasted on this team. We'll see what they can do next year if they, are healthy and and ready to go. But man, he had 7 receptions for 91 yards and a touchdown last week, and just looks so good anytime you can like get him the ball in any sort of normal way. So love what we saw from Brian Thomas Jr. Across the board. The Jaguars not terrible on offense, obviously putting up 20 points. Not against the toughest defense, but the Titans maybe not the worst defense either, so got to give them some credit there. Defensively, Jacksonville played very well, guys, except for against the run. They did struggle there against Tajay Spears, which is obviously, something of a concern here going against the Colts, but we'll see what happens there. Overall, giving up only 13 points, not a bad day at all for a defense that's been, pretty mediocre, giving up 25.6 points per game. In terms of the injury report for Jacksonville, they're looking very healthy there on offense, except for Walker Little going to be out there at left tackle. On defense, kind of the same situation, looking pretty healthy. Going to be missing one defensive lineman, and we do see Miller questionable there at linebacker, but I think there's a good chance he ends up eventually playing in this game. Doesn't seem like they're, interested in resting anyone as they go on the road to take on the Indianapolis Colts, who are 7-9 on the season. The Jags had the 5th pick. Doesn't seem like they care about that changing. The Colts are saying they're not resting anybody. They're playing Richardson if he's healthy, but looks like he's going to be out. He didn't practice on Friday, and there was news that he wasn't even able to walk at some points last week with that back issue. So yeah, it seems like this is going to be kind of a weird spot for the Colts. Apparently they're going to be starting Flacco again, or that's what it definitely looks like to me. And he didn't look amazing last week against the Giants, guys, and neither did the Colts in general, losing that game at 33-45. Flacco got picked off twice. It was kind of your typical Joe Flacco day. You don't know who he's throwing it to, but you know he's throwing it. Jonathan Taylor was massive, 32 carries for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns, but I don't think they're going to be looking to run Jonathan Taylor into the ground in this game in a meaningless last game of the season. So we'll see what they actually do. Antonio Pierce coming off of a big game. That was all against a terrible Giants team. Are the Jaguars that much better than the Giants? I would say they're at least a little bit better, guys. So we'll see what goes on here. I mean, it's not like I've been that impressed with the Colts defense over the course of the season. They do come into this one relatively healthy there on offense, obviously with the, Anthony Richardson situation still going on. But other than that, they're healthy. And on defense, they look pretty healthy as well. So that's definitely a plus there on the side of the Colts. But right now, guys, looking at the numbers, the Colts are 3.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 45. The Jaguars are 8-7-1 against the spread. They're 8-8 to the over/under. The Colts 9-7 against the spread, and they're 8-7-1 to the over themselves. I think this is a definite spot. I'm going to be leaning towards the Jaguars and the points. I think the Colts are a very demoralized team. I don't think they're going to be, playing with maximum effort out there. I don't think they're going to be using their best players to best advantage either. Why would you be running Jonathan Taylor into the ground here at the end of this wasted season? I don't think they'll be doing that. Give me the Jaguars here getting 3.5 points. I think they've got a lot more to play for, and they've got kind of a lame duck coach situation here at the end of the year. I think they're going to be trying to get him one last win. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Buffalo Bills going on the road to take on the New England Patriots. The Bills, guys, they are automatically locked into the 2 seed, and the Patriots, they have the number 1 pick right now, so they're very incentivized to lose this game, but we'll see how that goes. The Bills apparently are going to play Josh Allen here for at least 1 series. Maybe not more than that, though, just to keep his games started streak alive. Fair enough. You want to do that, go ahead and go for it. I mean, last week, a big day, 40-14, a win there over the Jets. So, yeah, comfortable stuff there. Obviously, not playing a real NFL level team. We even saw Mitch Trubisky come in and complete one 69-yard pass. Nice work there, Mitch Trubisky, for a touchdown. So we'll see if he can replicate any of that in this one. Obviously, Josh Allen was very good in his, snaps out there, so no problem there. James Cook played well, but basically seems like the Bills are going to be resting guys as much as they can in this game, probably on both sides of the ball too. This is a team that's had plenty of trouble with injuries this season. I don't think they're going to be risking very much in what amounts to a completely meaningless game for them. In terms of their injury report, Amari Cooper confirmed out for this game. Terrell Bernard out there on defense as well. So definitely not going to be the full strength team, and I think we're going to see way more guys than that play very abbreviated minutes in this game. So we'll see what they can do going on the road to take on the Patriots, who, like I said, they're in prime position to get the number 1 pick, and they don't even have to spend it on a quarterback if they don't want, because Drake May has been so good. They are fresh off getting destroyed 40-7 last week, so that's not great. Apparently Jared Mayo is, he's going to have Drake May there under center. Seems a little bit crazy to me, but yeah, apparently he's going to be out there, even though he's dealing with something of a hand issue. But yeah, they're going to go with it. They're going to play this game out. They're going to play out the end of the season, and I guess I can't argue them too much getting this rookie as many, opportunities as he can to see some live, full speed game action, or at least as close as that gets, since, the Bills probably not going to be playing all their starters. New England, Not a very good team, guys. No news there. I mean, Drake May last week, 1 touchdown, 4 sacks, only 117 yards passing. Antonio Gibson, 63 yards running on only 12 carries, so maybe that's something to build around, but this is not a very good offensive team, and the defense got destroyed last week. I don't know how much better that can go, or how much better that would go if they were playing the full strength Bills, but I don't think that's what we're going to see in this one. Over the course of the year, 26 in the NFL, giving up 25.1 points per game, so not great. It's still being reported that we're going to see Drake May very likely playing this game. Hunter Henry is dealing with something of a foot issue. He's questionable for this game. I don't know why you'd be forcing yourself to play in a meaningless game, but maybe you just got to do it. On defense, it looks like they're going to be missing at least one starter, guys. Christian Gonzalez is out there at cornerback, but other than that, we've got a few guys listed as questionable, but there's a shot that they play. I don't know how big of a difference that makes, but this is not a very good Patriots team. Guys, I'm going to be leaning towards New England. I know everything I just said, but New England's getting 3.5 points here in a meaningless game for the Bills. We've got a total of 36.5, so a very low total. Both teams are actually showing trends towards the over, which is interesting. Buffalo 10-6 to the over, New England 10-6 to the over as well. So while I am thinking that the Patriots plus 3.5 might be a decent play, I also think over 36.5 could be in play as well. The Patriots defense not very good. The Bills defense not going to be very good when they're not playing their starters, and they're not very good anyway. So I think this is definitely a spot you want to be looking at over 36.5. Seems like a reasonable play to me. Obviously, you want to be checking the weather anytime you're taking something of like an overplay like that. And right now, it looks like the weather is going to be very, very reasonable. 31 degrees and clear there in New England. So yeah, go ahead and give me a look at that over 36.5. Seems like some very reasonable value to me. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the New York Giants going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Giants come into this game, obviously 3-13 on the season with nothing left to play for. They are fresh off of a nice 45-33 win there over the Colts, so that's pretty good. The problem here for the Giants is they could have the number one pick. If they win, they could fall out of the top 5. So yeah, it could be, there's a lot of different things that can happen here if they're dumb enough to win this game and screw themselves over and mess up their draft position. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, the Patriots in pole position on that whole draft situation. So we'll see what goes down here. Obviously, last week, Drew Lock had the game of his life. 4 touchdown passes, 309 yards through the air. Tyrone Tracy, 20 carries for only 59 yards, so that wasn't great. But Neighbors had a massive day. I think he's going to be trying to replicate that in this one. So expecting the Giants to go for it here offensively. Those players in the locker room don't give a crap about the draft situation. So I think they're going to be trying to win. The defense tried to win last week, and they did, but man, they got destroyed there by Jonathan Taylor in the running game, and they would be in for a really tough one here against the Eagles if Saquon was going to be playing, but that is not going to be the case for this game. We do see the Giants' offensive line is pretty banged up. Guys are going to be missing at least 2 starters on the offensive line, including their center. On defense, they're going to be missing Micah McFadden there at linebacker, but other than that, they're healthy. So I guess we give them a little bit of credit, but this has not been a good defense or a good offense this year. So we'll see what the Giants can do going on the road to take on the Eagles, who are reportedly going to be resting everyone, including Saquon. He is not going to be going for the the rushing yards record. So that's a little bit disappointing, but I understand them wanting to be locked in and concentrating on winning a championship this year. This is a weird spot there for the Eagles, no doubt about it. I mean, obviously a massive blowout for him last week against Dallas. A very good game there from Kenny Pickett. Did everything they needed him to do. 143 passing yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and sacked 0 times. Obviously, Saquon had a massive game in that one, so it really wasn't a Kenny Pickett game necessarily, but we will be seeing, I would assume, it's looking like, Kenny Pickett possibly, but we could also end up with Tanner McKee. I mean, Kenny Pickett right now is questionable. He's dealing with that rib injury, so yeah, if he doesn't go, this is going to be really, really weird seeing Tanner McKee out there, not somebody we would have expected to see under center for the Eagles, unless, a disaster struck. Everybody else, all the starters, all the, lots of the offensive line, the vast majority of the offensive line, all the skill players, like, they are not going to be playing guys for this game. And the same goes for the defense. They're going to be resting everyone, it sounds like. So, yeah, going to be the second string Eagles out there. And guys, looking at the numbers, Philadelphia is still 2.5-point favorites. We've got a total of 37. Both teams showing trends towards the under. I'm not interested in the over-under, guys. The Giants 5-11 against the spread. The Eagles 10-6 against the spread, but this is not the real Eagles. Guys, give me the Giants here getting 2.5 points. They're going to be trying to win this game. The Eagles are not going to be trying to win this game. They're going to be pretty actively trying to lose. Like, honestly, they're better off if they lose. It screws over the Giants in terms of their future, and it doesn't hurt the Eagles at all. So go ahead and give me the Giants here getting 2.5 points. I think they are just dumb enough to mess this up and end up winning this game. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the New Orleans Saints going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Saints have obviously nothing to play for here at the end of the year, guys. They're coming off of another loss. They lost 25-10 there against the Raiders. Once again, guys, we saw Spencer Rattler look pretty bad. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Yeah, just this is a bad team, guys. Spencer Rattler not really filling me with optimism either. I don't think he's going to be in their long-term plans. He did run the ball for 46 yards. Congratulations. You got to be able to throw it in the NFL. You got to be able to throw it to your own team. So we'll see if he can improve any way at all. But this is a very banged up, very decimated Saints offense that's missing most of their skill players and not in a good position at quarterback either. And they're coming off a game where they only put up 10 points. Rattler got sacked 3 times. The running game didn't get going. Just nothing positive here for this Saints team on offense. And that was going against a terrible Raiders team that had, not much to play for at the end of the season. So not very optimistic about the Saints on defense, either giving up 25 points last week. And over the course of the season, guys, they haven't been a good defensive team. They're 18th, giving up 23.2 points per game. But recently it's been pretty brutal. I mean, they got shut out 34-0 at Green Bay a couple weeks ago. So things not looking great for the Saints, and they're not looking great for them, in terms of their injury report either. Kamara, very likely to be out for this game. Why would he come back and play? The offensive line is healthy, but Juwan Johnson, questionable for this game. Why would you rush him back to play? Pete Werner is out for this game. They're at linebacker, so they're not going to be at full strength on defense either. And Willie Gay is questionable as well, so could be very, very banged up there at linebacker. And they don't have an easy game on deck either. They're going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are in a must-win situation, guys. The Bucs need this win to get into the playoffs. The Saints don't have anything to play for right now. Tampa Bay 9-7 on the season, fresh off of that 48-14 dismantling of the Panthers. Loved what we saw from Baker in that game. 5 touchdown passes. The dude just has these games where he looks absolutely insane. Bucky Irving was nuts as well, guys. 20 carries, 113 yards, a 5.7 average there. Very good stuff. Mike Evans, a big day. Bucky Irving, a big day catching the ball as well. Just loving what we're seeing across the board here for Tampa Bay. And they come into this game with a very important, mission here to win this game and get into the playoffs. So I think they're going to be very, very focused. Obviously, the defense had a great day last week as well. They come into this game close to healthy there on offense. We do see Cade Otton is doubtful for this game, which isn't ideal. Obviously, I think they're assuming they're going to just win this game and make it to the playoffs, and they want to get him ready to go for that. Sterling Shepard is questionable for this one, but Mike Evans is ready to go. Bucky Irving's ready to go. Rashad White is ready to go. This team is dangerous there on offense. On defense, Jamel Dean is out there at cornerback. Winfield Jr. out at safety. So they're going to be a little bit banged up in the secondary, but against the Saints and Spencer Rattler, does that even matter? The odds makers don't think so, guys. The Buccaneers are 14-point favorites. We've got a total of 44.5. New Orleans 6-10 against the spread. They're 9-7 to the under. Tampa Bay 10-6 against the spread and 11-5 to the over. Guys, I'm not complicating this. I don't love these huge favorites, but I'm taking the Buccaneers here at -14. I think they're going to absolutely dismantle the Saints, who are playing on the road in this one. I think Tampa Bay really going to get the job done here. This definitely has a good shot to end up in the pinned comment. I know it's a ton of points, but man, Tampa Bay is just that much better. They need this win. The Saints do not need this win, and they are not playing anyone that's any good. So give me the Buccaneers in this spot. Next up, guys, we got the Kansas City Chiefs going on the road to take on the Denver Broncos. The Chiefs come into this game, guys, 15-1 on the season, and it is being reported they are going to be resting everyone. Carson Wentz going to be starting for Kansas City. He's going to be playing his heart out. He's going to be trying to get a contract here. This is a big, big game for Carson Wentz, but effectively a meaningless game there for the Kansas City Chiefs. So we'll see what they do. They're going to be running a lot of backups out there, guys. An awful lot of backups. They played a great game last week, getting that 29-10 win there against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Didn't even allow it to be close. Mahomes, Kelsey, everybody seems to be on the right wavelength. Xavier Worthy playing well. Didn't do a ton in the running game though, so that seems like that just wasn't their focus in this game. But the defense played great. They struggled a bit against the run, but shut down Russell Wilson and the passing game. That was very good. They also forced a couple turnovers and had 5 sacks. But like I said, that is not going to be the Chiefs team we're going to see here. Tons of dudes going to be sitting out or playing, extremely limited minutes on both sides of the ball too. I mean, the Chiefs do have a decent backup, level defense there. That's fine. Carson Wentz is a pretty competent backup quarterback, I think, but when you're going to be resting all of these offensive weapons, things could get a little bit tough out there for the Chiefs, but we'll see what they can do. This is a deep team, and we've got guys playing for contracts, so, there's a chance they'll put up a fight here as they go on the road to take on the Broncos, who are 9-7 on the season, guys, and yeah, they need this win. They're, very, very much in need of this win. At 9-7, they've lost their last 2 games of the season, losing to the Chargers and the Bengals. things have not exactly worked out the way that Bo Nix and company would have hoped here at the end of the season. Bo Nix has been having plenty of trouble throwing the ball to the other team. That's been the big problem. He did have 3 touchdown passes last week against the Bengals, but also an interception, was sacked a couple of times. The running game did look very good, guys. McLaughlin, a nice day out there. Bo Nix running the ball a few times as well and having success. Marvin Mims Jr. cashed a player prop for us. He had over 100 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in this game, so a massive day for him. Very, very good stuff out there, kind of across the board for the Broncos on offense, but it wasn't enough because that defense got absolutely shredded, and I think that Denver defense might be the most overrated defense in the NFL. They're 5th right now in points allowed per game, but that does not tell the whole story. When they play good teams, they have a rough time there on defense. When they play bad teams, all of a sudden things look amazing. So we'll see what they, do in this one, playing against the Chiefs, second stringers here. It's going to be interesting. Denver comes in this game very, very healthy and ready to go. The Broncos are 11-point favorites. We've got a total here of 40. Kansas City 8-8 against the spread, 9-7 to the under. Denver 11-5 against the spread, and 10-5-1 to the over. Guys, this is a very, very low total here. Obviously, we're going to be playing this game in Denver, so not necessarily expecting it to be rainbows and sunshine here in January, but we are getting sunshine, guys, and very little wind and 30-degree temperatures, so pretty much as nice of a day as you could ask for. I think we're going to see a ton of offense in this game. I think over 40 is good as gold in this spot. It's definitely going in the pinned comment. The weather's good. I think Carson Wentz is a competent, quarterback there for the Chiefs. I think we're going to see offense from both sides. I don't know if, the Denver defense is going to do very well here. We could see. That's not impossible, but I also think the Chiefs defense is going to struggle, obviously playing all second stringers, so getting to 40 points won't be a problem in this one. Give me that over. Next up, we've got the LA Chargers going on the road to take on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Chargers come into this game, guys. They, need to figure things out here. It's going to be a little bit fishy because the Steelers did end up losing. So the Chargers have to win to be the 5th seed. And, at 5, they get to play the Texans. At 6, they get the Ravens. So this is definitely a massive difference, in terms of who your opening round opponent could be. So the Chargers need to be locked in for this one. They're 10-6 on the season. They've won their last 2 in a row. They're fresh off a blowout 40-7 win last week against the Patriots. We saw Herbert play really well. 3 touchdown passes, no sacks, no interceptions. J.K. Dobbins looked good in the running game. Just a lot of positives here across the board. McConkey, another massive day, guys. 94 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, an easy walkover win there against the Patriots. Also, the defense played great, but playing great against the Patriots, not really that tough, guys. They're one of the worst teams out there. There's a reason they're going to be one of the top drafting teams in the NFL this season. In terms of the injury report for the Chargers, they're very healthy. Joshua Palmer is going to be out there at wide receiver. Denzel Perryman's going to be out there at middle linebacker. But other than that, it seems like they should be pretty much good to go here as they head to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders, who are now 4-12 on the season. They're fresh off back-to-back wins, guys, getting wins against the Jaguars and Saints, kind of messing up their draft situation here at the end of the year. But we'll see what they get done in this game, guys. I mean, last week winning 25-10 against the Saints doesn't take too much to beat Spencer Rattler and the Saints at this point. I mean, Aiden O'Connell was good, 20 of 35, 242 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, only sacked once, and Amir Abdullah was a monster, 20 carries for 115 yards for him. So they'll very likely be trying to run the ball again in this game, trying to play a little bit of a spoiler role here for the Chargers, but I mean, it could be a little bit of a tough road, to run because, man, the Chargers are going to be very, very motivated in this game, I would imagine. Like, that would be a tough spot for them to lose, but we'll see what they can do. The Raiders come into this one. They're not going to have Abdullah for this game, so they're going to be having to try and run it with Alexander Madison. That's probably not going to work as well. And on defense, the Raiders are considerably banged up, considering what they were supposed to do, who they're supposed to have at the beginning of the year. So we'll see, guys. Looking at the numbers, the Raiders are getting 6 points now. We've got a total of 41.5. The Chargers 11-5 against the spread, 9-7 to the under. The Raiders 7-8-1 against the spread, and 8-8 to the over/under. I'm not going to go too nuts on this game, guys. I'm leaning just here slightly towards the over 41.5, but there are too many weird situations in this one, too many unknowns. I'm going to be mostly staying away from this game. Next on the docket, guys, we've got the Seattle Seahawks going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Rams. The Seahawks come into this game with nothing to play for except for Geno Smith, who gets $4 million in incentives if he throws for 186 yards at least and finishes with a high completion percentage. So we'll see what Geno's trying to do out there. It's going to be interesting in a game where, his team's not playing for anything, but he certainly is. Last week against the Bears, he was terrible, only 160 passing yards, Not a great look. No touchdowns, sacked 3 times. They didn't get anything going in that game, but they eventually won 6-3. But my God, what a slog. Defensively, giving up only 3 points is great, but it was against the Bears, so I'm not going to freak out too much. Seattle does come into this game healthy. Doesn't seem like they're going to be resting anybody, not giving anybody the rest of the season off too early. DK Metcalf going to be out there. Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he's going to be out there, and the defense looks healthy and ready to go as well. So going to be close to a full strength Seattle Seahawks team, but we'll see what their focus really is in this game. They're going against a Rams team that has a lot going on. It's been very interesting. The Rams, if they win, they get the 3 seed and play Green Bay or Washington at home. If they lose, they play Minnesota or Detroit at home. McVay says he's resting starters and wants to see how Jimmy Garoppolo can do and how their backup running back can do. So apparently they're going to be resting starters. My big concern there is their offensive line is terrible. The second string being in there against Seattle, probably not going to look amazing, but they do have, a very competent backup quarterback there in Jimmy Garoppolo. So interesting things here for the Rams. Obviously, they're going to be resting guys like Stafford, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams. But with Jimmy Garoppolo, Blake Corum out there, I don't think this is the worst offensive team you're ever going to see. I am worried, though, about the defense. I am also worried about the offensive line quite a bit. So we'll see what happens. Seattle 6-9-1 against the spread. They're 8-8 to the over/under this season. The Rams 8-8 against the spread, 9-7 to the under. The Rams are getting 7 points. We got a total here of 38.5. I hate to give you guys another over/under play, but I do think the over is the play in this game. I think we'll see enough offense there to get over that 38.5 points the vast majority of the time. You could also talk me into the Rams at +7, but that offensive line is what really scares me off. So just go ahead. We're taking another over, guys. It's a big week for overs. Don't worry, we're going to get back to normal programming here once the playoffs start. But with so many weird things happening out there, I think over 38.5, plenty of offense happening in this game, seems like the lean to me. Next on the docket, guys, we got the Miami Dolphins going on the road to take on the New York Jets. The Dolphins are only in the playoffs if if Denver loses to Kansas City, and obviously Miami gonna need to get the win here, I believe. Very, very convoluted playoff situation there, and Denver's gonna have to lose to the Kansas City backups for Miami to find their way into the playoffs. It's been a rough season for the Dolphins. Apparently Tua is gonna be out for this game. We did see Huntley play well last week, 225 passing yards and a passing touchdown, and 52 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. So Bro looked good last week. He was sacked 4 times, but that's really the only negative. An excellent game for him against the Cleveland Browns. And now he gets to go against the Jets. Not exactly a team that's lighting the world on fire. A-Chain continues to be out there doing what he can. Tyreek Hill actually had 105 receiving yards last week. It was nice to see him, pop his head up and have a nice day, but that has not been the norm this season at all. On defense, they were dominant last week, but that was against Dorian Thompson-Robinson and the skeleton crew there for the Cleveland Browns. So not going to overreact there too much. Looking at the injury report, we see Tyreek questionable, Jalen Waddle questionable, Teron Armstead questionable there on the offensive line, Tua doubtful for this game, and then on defense, the same kind of situation, guys. Anthony Walker Jr. out there at linebacker, Campbell questionable on the defensive line, and Holland questionable there in the secondary. So not going to be the full strength Dolphins. There's no question about that. We'll see what they can do, though. They're going to be trying to win. They're going up against a team in the Jets. What are the Jets even trying to do? Very, very weird. We do see Aaron Rodgers going for his 500th touchdown. It appears that he will start. So I don't know, guys. This is a weird spot. They're coming off a terrible game. They got absolutely destroyed there by the Bills, eventually losing 40-14. Rodgers looked terrible. 2 interceptions, passed for 112 yards. The running game didn't look good. Nothing looked good there. Nothing looked good for the Jets going against Buffalo. No major shocker there, but we'll see what they do in this one. Maybe they're on something of a revenge game. Maybe they want to finish things off strong at the end of the season. A little bit of a tough look for me, though. I do think we'll see Aaron Rodgers and probably Devontae Adams be locked in for this game, trying to get that 500th touchdown reception. But other than that, what are they trying to do? There are 2 dudes questionable there on the offensive line. Tyler Conklin's questionable at tight end. On defense, not a very good defense. We only see 1 guy questionable, but this defense has not been what we expected to see at the beginning of the season. Over the course of the year, they're giving up 24 points per game. That is 21st in the NFL. So brutal stuff there from the Jets. Looking at the numbers for this game, the Jets, they're half a point favorite, so basically a pick 'em here. We got a total of 38.5. Miami 7-9 against the spread, 9-7 to the under. The Jets 5-11 against the spread, and 9-6-1 to the over. I'm leaning towards Miami in this game. I just don't trust Rodgers and the Jets. I think Rodgers is going to get a touchdown here, a touchdown pass to get his 500th, or be trying to really hard. Will he be able to do it even? I don't know, guys. This is a weird game. To be honest, I'm staying away from it. Just too much weirdness going on with Miami right now, and I don't really love what I'm seeing from either team. So all kinds of weird stuff could happen. I would not be surprised at all. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the San Francisco 49ers going on the road to take on the Arizona Cardinals. The 49ers at 6-10 on the season have not had the year they imagined. They've been decimated by injuries. It's been tough, guys. They've lost their last 3 in a row. They lost 40-34 in just a tough loss there against the Lions last week. They had their chances in that game, but Brock Purdy eventually getting hurt was rough. We saw Joshua Dobbs go out there. He looked okay, but how is he going to look in this game? I don't know. Guerrero, 9 carries for 34 yards last week. We'll even see him in this game. Deebo Samuel not having the best season at all, the worst season of his career. Like all kinds of injuries and stuff popping up for the 49ers, and the defense got shredded last week, which it's kind of the skeleton crew of their defense. Obviously not what they thought they were going to have at this point in the year when they started the season. So it's been brutal for the 49ers. Purdy out for this game. Deebo Samuel out for this game. Kittle, he is technically questionable for this game. He's dealing with an ankle/hamstring issue. Why in the name of God would he play in this game? I have no idea. He should very much be out for this game. Colton McKivitz, questionable there on the offensive line. And on defense, all kinds of dudes are out for the season. We see 2 guys, at least 1 guy out there in the secondary, possibly 2. So a very banged up team across the board for the 49ers, who are finishing off an absolute nightmare of the season. So we'll see what they can do going on the road to take on the Cardinals, who are 7-9 on the year. They've got to be a little bit annoyed. They have nothing to play for either. They're out of the hunt now after losses to the Panthers and Rams. We'll see. Apparently, they're focused on finishing the season off strong. We'll see what actually happens. I mean, in that 13-9 loss against the Rams, we saw Kyler Murray continue to flounder at the end of the season. 2 interceptions, only 1 touchdown. He did pass for 321 yards. Give him some credit there. Trey McBride had a massive day. Marvin Harrison Jr. had a big day as well. Michael Carter, a good day running the ball. Kyler Murray had 4 rushes for 32 yards as well. The offense was moving the ball, but they were just making mistakes there at the end of drives and stuff like that. So we'll see if they can bounce back here. The defense actually played great, giving up only 13 points to the Rams, holding Stafford without a touchdown pass and under 200 yards passing. Like, they out-offensed the Rams and still lost 13-9. Like, it was bad. It was bad, guys. No doubt about that. The Cardinals come into this one pretty healthy, guys. I mean, Michael Wilson is questionable there at wide receiver, but other than that, the offense is fully healthy. On defense, they're looking very healthy as well. 2 guys questionable, but there's a chance that both of them end up playing in this game. So basically the full strength Arizona Cardinals going up against, the skeleton of whatever is left here of the, San Francisco 49ers. The Cardinals are 4.5 favorites, 4.5 point favorites. We got a total of 43. San Francisco 5-11 against the spread, 9-7 to the over. Arizona 10-6 against the spread, and 8-7-1 to the under. Guys, I am taking Kyler Murray and the Cardinals here in a get-right spot at the end of the season in a meaningless game. There's nothing to play for, so I wouldn't blame you for being scared off of this game, but I think it's a great spot for the Cardinals to win this by at least a touchdown. I have zero faith in Joshua Dobbs there for the 49ers. I don't think he's going to have a good time at all. Give me the Cardinals in this game to win by at least a touchdown. Last but certainly not least here, guys, we've got the Minnesota Vikings going on the road to take on the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football in the biggest game of the NFL season. The Lions are 14-2 on the season. The Vikings are 14-2 as well. They are battling it out right here to see who takes home the NFC North crown and all the big things that come with, it's a first round bye on the line, all that kind of good stuff. And both these teams could definitely use it. Minnesota obviously having to go on the road here. That's a little bit tough, but they come into this game playing great. They've won their last, 8 in a row now or something like that. They took down the Packers last week, 27-25, a very close game, but it only got close at the end. Minnesota was pretty much in control of this thing the whole way. Sam Darnold, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 377 passing yards. A great day for him. He was only sacked once. Aaron Jones actually had a bit of a down game against his old team. 12 carries for 47 yards, but I expect him to bounce back in a big way in this game. Justin Jefferson, 8 receptions for 92 yards. He is clearly just, going to continue to have an amazing season. He's looking great. On defense, they held down the pass, they held down the run. Like, it was a very good day out there. Felt kind of unlucky. Honestly, they gave up 25 points. It was a very nice defensive effort from the Vikings, who have been a great defensive team all season. They're currently 4th in the NFL, giving up 18.8 points per game. They like to bring the heat, and we'll see if they can. The Lions can handle that heat. The Vikings come into this game very healthy on both sides of the ball. Feels like a cheat code how healthy they are at this point in the season. It's actually pretty bonkers. So we'll see what they can do here going on the road to take on the Lions, who are 14-2 on the season. They're coming off a crazy 40-34 win there at the 49ers last week. Obviously, they desperately needed that win, but it was wild out there, guys. A Goff, 3 touchdowns, 303 passing yards, no interceptions. A great day from him. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs, a great day as well. 117 yards on 18 carries and a rushing touchdown. Jameson Williams had a big day catching the ball. Sam Laporta was good. Amon-Ra St. Brown was good, but it was barely enough, guys, because their defense is so decimated with injuries. They couldn't stop the 49ers at all. They couldn't stop the passing game. They couldn't really stop the running game at times either. Like, it was brutal. And the Lions, when you look at that injury report, guys, the offense, cool, they're good to go. The defense, holy God, like, look at all the dudes on IR. Look at all the guys that are missing, from the beginning of the season. Like, it is absolutely brutal. This is a shell of the defense the Lions thought they would have. So looking at the numbers, I'm a little bit shocked to see the Lions as 3-point favorites here at home. We've got a total of 56.5, so a huge total. Minnesota 11-4-1 against the spread. They are 9-7 to the under. Detroit 11-5 against the spread and 9-7 to the over. Guys, I'm giving this one away. It's a premium pick over at Stump the Spread, but I don't care. I'm giving it out to you guys right here. I'm taking the Minnesota Vikings here, getting 3 points. There's nobody left there on defense for the Detroit Lions. It feels bad, man. I was rooting for the Lions to have a great season. It's not. The regular season is not going to end on a very positive note. Hopefully they can get some guys healthy there, but Detroit's even playing on a short week here, so that makes it even worse. So yeah, give me the Vikings here, getting a full field goal. I think this could end up being a game that whoever has the ball last wins, but I could also see the Vikings really making life miserable there for that Detroit Lions defense. So definitely last play of the day. It's a premium pick. It's not the spread. Give me the Vikings getting 3 points. All the games I have for today, guys. Head over to Stump the Spread to check out our premium content. Also, do me a huge favor, hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I apologize for missing all of this time, guys. It was not up to me. We were unable to upload here, so hopefully we can get back to just normal uploads and we won't have any more issues. I really appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget, I have a secondary channel. Get over there, get subscribed to the secondary channel, so if anything happens here, you'll not miss out on my content over there. We're uploading every day. We're gonna have an NBA video over there today, even on Sunday, still keeping you guys going. So that's all we've got for this one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow on here and on the secondary channel for more sports betting action.